So the Sony A7V is expected to release this year, first or second quarter 2025. And in this video, I'm going to be breaking down what I think would be the specs or what you should expect in the camera when it does drop. Let's get right into it. And quick disclaimer, I do have notes with me. Like, I have my notes of everything I wrote down. Let's get right into it. First, let's start off with the sensor. If we're keeping it real and we're being honest with what's to be expected in order for Sony not to cannibalize the other cameras, I'm guessing from my perspective they're gonna keep the same 33 megapixel sensor. In my humble opinion, I think they're definitely gonna keep it. Now I will say 33 megapixel, but partially stacked, not fully stacked, not like the I think A1 or nothing like that. But a partially stacked sensor, so that way they can double down on the rolling shutter and the better effects of video and for photos too. Partially stacked sensor just helps out with speeding those things up and having a faster readout. As far as the resolution, I definitely think they would keep the 7K sensor down sample to the 4K. Once again, me personally, I don't think they're gonna go the route of the A7R5 because that's gonna be basically cannibalizing the A7R6 whatever, which is an 8K sensor. Not down sample, but it's the actual 8K sensor that you can actually shoot 8K footage on, and 4K line skip. But as far as the A7V, I think they're definitely gonna keep the 7K sensor, down sample it back to 4K. But I think this time though, they will allow us to have 4K 60. I'm not gonna say no crop, I'm gonna say 4K 60 1.1 crop, because currently right now we do have it at 4K 60 1.5 crop. So it's like a 50%, it's like it crops in a lot. And for example, I'll just show you guys what this would look like if I was to crop it in at 4K 60 or 4K, well, the crop mode. I'll show you guys the crop mode. So this is the same image, same everything, same settings, just this is at 60 frames per second in crop mode. As you can see, it takes out a lot of the real estate that you had on the screen, and then it also gets rid of that 7K down sample. So it goes from like a 4.6K. No, actually no, my bad. It goes from like, I think it goes down to 4.6K down sample to 4K, or 6K down sample to 4K, like the FX30. And to each his own. Some people handle crops. It's like some people don't have an issue with the crop sensors, and some people don't mind it. But honestly, if I'm getting a full frame camera, I want to be able to use each frame rate and full feature at full capacity without having to worry about crippling the camera. Lumix cameras, no cripple hammer. Lumix S5 2X. Crazy. It's crazy what they doing over there. Wish I had that. That's crazy. But back to full frame. Another thing, 4K 120. That for sure definitely gonna have a crop. For sure, 100% sure. So okay, 4K 60. If they give us 4K 60 no crop, that would be amazing. That would be crazy. 4K 60 no crop, that would be crazy. But 4K 60 1.1 crop, like a slightly 10%, it's not that bad at all. 4K 120 will be the new 4K 60 crop on it. That's on the A7IV. So 4K 120 will have that 1.5 crop. I can almost, hands down, that's for sure. I know that's almost like that's a guarantee. I know for a fact. And honestly, for me, I don't really use 4K 120. It's cool, but like for example, my boy Shotbot Apartments, part of the A1A team, Rafe, he got the FX30, which is able to shoot at 4K 120, but then it crops down. That's the APS-C sensor, so it already crops down from the APS-C, which is 1.5, 1.6, and then it crops it down again in 4K 120 to like a 1.8, 1.9. Like it's like additional 1.5 crop, so it's like even half of that APS-C sensor, and the footage comes out nice, crispy and buttery. But at the same time, you do introduce way more noise because you letting less light in, because you're only using a small percentage of the sensor, so it's getting nowhere near as much light. And less light reflects bad low light because it's not sucking up. It doesn't have any light to suck up. Oh, one thing I forgot to add: the 4K 120 might be limited to 420 10-bit. Not 422 10-bit, which limits the amount of it limits the codec a little bit and the amount of information that you get in the image. But 420 is still good. At least it's not 400, like 8-bit or something like that. And lastly, for the video specs, I think they're definitely gonna make a faster readout speed, because that was a big issue with the A7IV. I'm gonna show you guys a little example if I can. Maybe I don't have no one to shoot out here, but the rolling shutter is not that bad. Not like the A7R5 and 8K. That's horrible. That's like the readout on that is like 27. Pretty horrible. A lot of banding, a lot of jello effects. It's horrible. A7IV is not that bad. Nowhere near as bad, but I mean it's still kind of noticeable. Like the Pixie 6K. readout speed. It's horrible, but you know, there is a such thing called gyro data, which Sony cameras are good with working with. So what that basically allows you to do is take footage. If you take the in-body stabilization off, turn it off, it records a gyro data, which allows you to take that video or file and then into the app called Catalyst Browse, stabilize it, and it comes out much more smoother and much more better than basically anything on the market. Kinda, it's very convenient. It's just a little extra step and post that you gotta take. All right, so for this next segment, it's gonna be much more quicker because you know I'm mostly a filmmaker, well, video person. I don't really care too much about photo specs, but you know, we got to talk about it. You know, there's people who want to know about photo specs, and we're gonna get into it. First thing I'm gonna say is for the A7V, let's get a faster output of frames per second. You know what I'm talking about. Right now the A7 IV is limited to 15 frames per second, if I'm not mistaken. I think 10. If you shoot an uncompressed raw is like 10. And if you shoot in compressed raw or JPEG or something like that, I think it's like 15 max. I think a good, you know, output would be like 25. I'm gonna say from the 20 range to 25. If we're keeping it realistic, 20 to 25 frames. They're not gonna put 25 to 35 because that's usually on their high-end models like that. So I would definitely say a faster burst rate, 20 to 25. On top of that, I would definitely love to see a better performance with banding. So for example, banding is like a slow readout speed when you're recording or when you're shooting like baseball events and a person get ready to swing and like, he swings the bat, like, you know, it's a fast action. In some videos you can actually see the bat like warp, or you can see once you see the ball, you can see the ball, it doesn't look like a circle, it looks like a oval type of thing because it warps. I'll show you guys some examples of it, but it's basically a slow sensor readout causes that because it's too slow to capture the actual movement. And usually global shutters, which is a instant shutter reading out an instant readout, and it doesn't cause that. So high-end cameras like the Sony A9 and the A1, or the Canon 1DX Mark III and the Canon R3 all have like those fast readouts, and some of them have global shutters. And then I guess last but not least, you know, it's gonna probably keep that 33 megapixels partially stacked sensor, which is gonna help out, you know, help counter all of that slow movement and slower speeds and things like that. On to the next one. All right, so let's get into the software. One of the, you know, fun things to talk about. Let's start it off. AI autofocus, like the Sony A7R5, obviously is definitely gonna have that for sure, 100% sure. There is no question about that. All their newest cameras, even like the Sony A7C2, A7CR, all of them have the new, you know, AI autofocus. So for sure, the A7V will be, the A7V will be getting it for sure. You can expect, you know, that new subject detection. Even when a person's turned around, it still would have the autofocus on the eyes, or still like subject predict where the eyes would be, things like that. That's definitely coming for sure. But one thing I'm not too sure about that they might put in the higher cinema cameras, not a hybrid camera, things like, you know, the regular cinema features like waveform, false color, and, you know, zebras, things like that. Well, they do have zebras, and they do have like focus peak and everything, but they're still missing like false color built into the camera, false color, and, you know, waveform, all the different waveforms. I'll show you guys an example, like everything I have using the Monitor Plus app. Very great app. I ain't gonna lie, this is probably definitely one of the best apps you can get for the camera. Just unlock. Now I know, like, since it's not a true cinema camera, they would leave those features out. I mean, I probably would too if I was like the camera company. I wouldn't want to give all my good features in one camera when like I can save some and be like, okay, well, if you want these pro features, you gotta invest in one of our pro cameras. That's what I would leave that for. So I wouldn't honestly blame them if they don't do it, but once again, Lumix does that. Built-in false color, zebras, everything you need, all the exposure things. Damn, they don't need a monitor. Wish I had that. One more thing before I cry. One more thing. Internal monitoring LUTs. For example, like the FX30 has it. The FX30, I think the FX6 and the FX3 has to where you can load a LUT on the SD card, put it inside the camera, and load up that LUT and have it on top of your S-Log3 footage. It's pretty cool. I don't personally use it. I don't really need it. I kind of like the way flat footage looks. Oddly weird enough. Like, I like the way, I don't like to look at the actual final thing until I go and post with it, which is dumb because most people use that just to make sure they're getting the right exposure. But I feel like I don't really need it to get the right exposure because I'm always changing my different LUTs. But some people love it. My boy on his FX30 has it. It's okay to me. It's pretty cool. Not that much useful, honestly, for me. Let's get into the next thing. Now it's time for the fun stuff. Ergonomics. One thing I know for a fact they probably most likely will do for this one, they definitely gonna give, I wouldn't say that they're gonna give the exact same body from the A7R5 into the A7V, but the way they dissipate, the way they make the body to dissipate heat, I feel like that's definitely gonna be introduced into the A7V to give it more of a high chance of not overheating. Honestly, they might just upright just still the same body from the A7R5 to the A7 IV, which is a slightly bigger camera, slightly more comfortable. I ain't gonna lie, I had it. My boy got the A7R5, so actually being able to use it, see the differences with the A7 IV and A7V. I mean, A7R5 it's pretty. It's not a significant difference, but the body ergonomics does feel a little bit better. Like especially when you're resting your thumb, your pinky on your bottom of the camera, it definitely feels a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more durable, and a little bit more like, you know, just it feels more smooth. It's like a better experience. Another thing, speaking about the A7R5, the high resolution, I wouldn't say screen, but the high resolution iCup, the EVF, the electric viewfinder, man, that one, yo, well actually both, actually, because the A7R5 has a 4 million dot, I don't even know, what is it, a 4 million dot EVF? Yo, when you look at the EVF, it's actually like you actually get a sense of like a full screen. It's very, it's very sharp, especially when you're doing the photo things. When you're taking a photo and you're looking at the AVF, it's a different experience. That's like the biggest difference in my opinion. That, and then I'm gonna top it into the screen. The A7R5 has that new flip out screen. It's the multi access angle screen. It's kind of the best hybrid screen in the game right now. I mean, you can't go wrong with it. You can flip it out. You can flip it out. You can have it tilted, and you can just like this. I can see myself with it, but it's also more versatile because you can turn it in basically any direction you want to. And I know for a fact the A7V is gonna have that. For a fact, no doubt, definitely gonna have that. I can't wait for that feature. So before I end this video off, there are a few things I would love as like a bonus to see in the A7V. First thing I'm gonna say is no overheating. Please get rid of that. Whatever you guys gotta do, honestly, bro, it'd be cool if they added a fan to it. Oh, another bonus, I almost forgot about auto reframing. So for example, like the Sony, is it the A7R5? No, it's the A7C Mark II, if I'm not mistaken. Has the auto AI reframing. So for example, I'm using CapCut. They have a feature like that in CapCut. So let's say I'm gonna move around like this, and it should be right now follow my face. And that's basically like what A7 those cameras with the AI software does. It can help you know, track you and make it look like as if you had a cameraman. And yeah, with that being said, that is my outlook on the A7V, man. I really think that we get a lot of those features, maybe not the bonus ones, but a lot of those regular features. I think those are definitely like standard. I honestly feel like they're gonna give us even more than that. I'm pretty sure I missed a few things, and if you still watch the end of the video, I really appreciate it. If you feel like I said any crazy things or misinterpreted something, or you think you have a better idea of what might be in the A7V, go ahead and comment below. Let's have a little debate, or a friendly debate. You know, I want to see like how you guys think about the specs that I listed, and like compare it to maybe your own beliefs, or see how you feel about them. Give me an honest opinion, man. You know, let's have a conversation about it. If you guys found this video entertaining or useful, make sure y'all hit the like button, comment, definitely comment. I want to see what you guys think, and subscribe. See Visions, I'm out of here. Stay tuned for the next video.